Yes.
Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Thank you, Kareem. I want to ask about the president's tumble that he took on the stage in Colorado the other day. It's absolutely true that any one of us could trip over an object just happens to be in our path. Nonetheless, we've all observed the difficulty this president has in certain settings. Steps are one of them. Of course, there was no sandbag in his path on the steps up Air Force One on any of those occasions. And I was struck particularly by the incident on May 19 in Hiroshima, where the president descended down a set of stone steps toward a shrine, at the bottom of which steps he was greeted by the Japanese Prime Minister. And if you look at that footage, the president slipped and caught himself on those steps. And as he greeted the Prime Minister, you could even see on the president's face pursed lips as if to say, this was a close one. And I know I watched that scene with my heart in my hands, because this was a set of stone steps, and even though there were handrails on either side, he was directed by his advance team, presumably, to descend at the middle of those steps, unaided by the handrails, the Japanese Prime Minister, an aide, or anything else. And that could have been really catastrophic. And so my question to you is whether this whole series of incidents has led the White House Chief of Staff to direct some kind of review of the advance procedures that are employed on behalf of this, the nation's oldest president.
So let me say you've paid a lot of attention to that particular situation. I actually did not see that. I was with him in Hiroshima, so this is something that I was not aware of, so I can't speak to that particular moment. You know, here's what I will say. This is a president, you know, that has had an incredibly impressive first 2 years. When you think about what he's been able to get done, when you think about the record historic pieces of legislation that are now into law, I just went into it with the different pieces of legislation that's actually going to make a difference and change Americans' lives, Americans who truly need it. And that's, I think, is what the American people are looking for. They're looking for someone that can actually deliver like the president has done. And even last week, when you think about the budget negotiations, you heard from Republicans, congressional Republicans, ranging from the right MAGA and members to Speaker McCarthy, emphasize the president's smarts and capabilities in making sure that there was a bipartisan, reasonable, common sense piece of legislation, a fiscally responsible piece of legislation that is going to help American families. And so you see him again and again and again over the past few years deliver, whether it's 2020, where people underestimated him and he got that done, whether it's 2022, again, when people underestimated, got that done, whether it's this budget agreement, he got that done. And I think that is the most important thing that the Americans are going to care about and that Americans are going to look to. And so I will leave that there.
Are looking at, I'm asking
well,
a specific question.
Isn't that what it's important? As a reporter, don't you think it's important what Americans care about?
But my question was,
I'm just saying that is something that Americans want. Isn't that not true? That they have a leader that's going to deliver for them?
Your proposition may or may not be true, but it's not responsive to my question.
I think it's very true. You're asking, no, I know what your question is. You're asking me if we're going to change anything from here. If the Chief of Staff has asked for to change anything from here. And here's the thing. We are not. Things happen. Other presidents have had similar situations, as you know, and I'm sure you reported on the last president who's had a similar situation. And so look, things happen. This is a president that delivers and will continue to deliver for the American people, and that's what he cares about. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.